No. It's very delicious to act with beautiful men.
Well, then,
As I
would you
said, I'd
care
like to do another one with all of them.
Yes. Would you care to say which you thought the most beautiful?
Angie Dickinson's career has been nothing short of remarkable. From her breakthrough role in Gun the Man down to her iconic portrayal of Sergeant Leon Pepper Anderson in Policewoman, Dickinson has captivated audiences with her talent and charisma. Yet, for all the roles she's mastered, it's her recent confession about her personal life that has fans and admirers captivated. Angie Dickinson, at the venerable age of 92, has opened up about the man who was the love of her life. Watch this video to know who it is. In the annals of Hollywood history, few stars shine as brightly and with as much complexity as Angie Dickinson, renowned for her striking beauty, enigmatic persona, and career dotted with high-profile relationships. Dickinson has left an indelible mark on the film industry and its aficionados. Her life, a tapestry of personal triumphs and public fascinations, offers a glimpse into the allure of a bygone era and the timeless appeal of a true Hollywood legend. Angie Dickinson's allure went beyond the silver screen, capturing the hearts of some of the most influential men of her time, including the 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy. A pivotal moment in this intertwining of worlds was a grand party hosted by JFK's sister, Pat Kennedy, and her husband, Peter Lawford, at their beachfront residence in Santa Monica. This gathering, a precursor to the convention, was a melting pot of the era's most influential figures, including future President John F. Kennedy, Joe Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, Eunice Kennedy, Pat Kennedy, and Frank Sinatra. Angie Dickinson, among other distinguished guests, found herself in the heart of a movement enthusiastic about propelling John F. Kennedy to the presidency, her invitation to this elite circle partly owing to her role in Ocean's 11, where she played Sinatra's on-screen wife. The influence of Ocean's 11 extended beyond the silver screen, as Sinatra took the initiative to send a pre-release copy of the film to the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport, weaving Dickinson's cinematic persona into the fabric of the Kennedy campaign. The night before the inauguration, Frank Sinatra, a close friend of the Kennedys and a towering figure in Dickinson's life, hosted a gala at the National Guard Armory, drawing stars like Jimmy Durante, Jenny Kelly, Shirley MacLaine, and Ella Fitzgerald. The president-elect himself rounded off the evening with a dinner hosted by his father, Joseph P. Kennedy, at Paul Young's restaurant, a gathering that included notable figures from Kennedy's circle, including Paul Red Fay Jr., a World War I comrade and future Undersecretary of the Navy. Fay's 1966 memoir, The Pleasure of His Company, hinted at a more personal connection between Dickinson and the Kennedy circle, detailing an evening when he was tasked with escorting Dickinson on a date arranged by Ethel Kennedy. This episode sparked rumors of an affair between Dickinson and JFK, rumors that have persisted over the years, much to Dickinson's displeasure. She has consistently expressed frustration over the intrusion of such speculation into her private life, even withdrawing a manuscript that touched upon these rumors after writing over 100 pages. Dickinson has long maintained that the focus should be on the profound loss the country experienced with Kennedy's assassination, a tragedy that coincided with her filming The Killers. Alongside future President Ronald Reagan, film critic David Thompson has lauded Dickinson for her discretion and refusal to capitalize on the rumored affair, a stance that Sinatra encapsulated by describing her as a lady who's a gentleman. Her political engagements didn't end with the Kennedy era. During the late 1990s, Dickinson voiced her support for President Bill Clinton amidst his impeachment, highlighting his accomplishments and criticizing the focus on his personal life. Her encounter with Clinton at a Democratic fundraiser left a lasting impression, reinforcing her commitment to Democratic causes, a commitment she humorously underscored by claiming she had never knowingly dated a Republican. Let's move to her first marriage with Gene Dickinson, a college football player who transitioned into the electronics industry. The couple wed in 1952, but separated just 4 years later in 1956, although their divorce wasn't finalized until 1960. Despite the end of their romantic relationship, Angie chose to retain Dickinson's surname, a decision that would become a significant part of her identity. During this early period of her life, Angie formed a close and enduring friendship with John Kenneth Galbraith, a prominent economist, and his wife, Catherine Galbraith. This connection offered Angie a unique vantage point into a world far removed from Hollywood's glitz and glamour. Her visits with the Galbraiths especially during John Kenneth Galbraith's tenure as the U.S. ambassador to India, are well documented, providing a glimpse into Angie's life away from the camera. These experiences, rich in cultural and political significance, are recounted in Galbraith's writings, Ambassador's Journal, and A Life in Our Times, highlighting the depth of their friendship and the impact of these interactions on her life. In 1965, Angie embarked on a new chapter with famed composer Burt Bacharach. Their marriage, which lasted 16 years, was marked by both shared joys and challenges. Among these, the premature birth of their daughter Nikki introduced a strain on their relationship early on. Angie later contemplated that her protective nature towards Nikki might have inadvertently placed additional pressure on their marriage. Reflecting on their dynamic, she recognized that perhaps they were better suited for a romantic connection rather than the complexities of matrimony. During this tumultuous period, Angie was presented with an opportunity that would mark a significant pivot in her career. The leading role in Policewoman, a groundbreaking television series, consulting with Bacharach on this career-defining decision, she received his encouragement to pursue the role. The show's success not only established Angie as a trailblazer for women in crime dramas, but also inadvertently contributed to the growing rift between her and Bacharach. While Angie's career was ascending, Bacharach faced setbacks, notably after the failure of the film Lost Horizon, for which he composed the music. The strenuous schedule of Policewoman, combined with Bacharach's discomfort with Angie's extended absences, further exacerbated the tension between them. Compounding these professional and personal challenges was the profound heartbreak Angie faced with the tragic suicide of Nikki in 2007. Nikki, who lived with Asperger's syndrome, struggled with the sensory overload of living in Los Angeles, particularly the noise from helicopters. Despite various attempts to mitigate this distress, the constant sound remained a source of torment for Nikki, leading Angie to consider moving from their Coldwater Canyon home for a quieter environment. Nikki's diagnosis with Asperger's syndrome, a condition not widely recognized until the mid-1990s, brought its own set of challenges characterized by difficulties in social interactions and a tendency towards intense focus on specific interests. Asperger's also often includes sensitivity to noise. Nikki's condition, compounded by diminished eyesight from her premature birth and a traumatic hospitalization at age 14, strained her relationship with her father. Bacharach, misunderstanding Nikki's needs, believed institutionalization was necessary, a decision that later became a source of regret and a point of contention in Nikki's relationship with him. Despite these challenges, Nikki and Angie shared a deep bond, finding solace and joy in their shared love for movies. Among other activities, Angie's reflections on their relationship, including the touching yet heartbreaking moment when Nikki suggested the title "I've Never Healed from Anything" for a book, underscore the lasting impact of Nikki's struggles and the profound love shared between mother and daughter. The passing of Burt Bacharach in 2023 marked the end of this marriage. Beyond her relationship with Burt Bacharach, Dickinson's personal life has been marked by other significant relationships. In the 1980s, she was involved with musician Billy Vera, even making an appearance in the music video for his single "I Can Take Care of Myself." This relationship highlighted Dickinson's continued relevance and connection to the entertainment industry beyond her acting career. Additionally, she spent several years in the 1990s dating Larry King, the renowned radio and television interviewer, further illustrating her enduring appeal and the wide range of her personal and professional relationships. And now, at 92, Angie Dickinson also revealed a deeply personal aspect of her life that had remained private for years. She shared that she had a 20-year on-and-off affair with Frank Sinatra, the legendary singer known for his charismatic presence and unparalleled influence in the world of music. Dickinson reflected on their relationship with profound affection, describing Sinatra as the love of her life and one of the most charismatic men that ever was known as the Rat Pack Gal Pal. Dickinson not only shared a personal connection with these legendary entertainers, but also starred alongside Sinatra in the original Ocean's 11, a role that cemented her status in Hollywood lore. It was at the time when her marriage ended in 1960 that Angie Dickinson transitioned into the workforce, taking a position as a secretary at an airplane factory. This period of her life was a stark contrast to the glamorous and tumultuous world she would soon enter. Her first significant encounter with the entertainment industry came somewhat unexpectedly when she participated in a local preliminary for the Miss America contest. Securing second place, her achievement caught the eye of a casting agent who recognized her potential, leading to her role as one of 6 showgirls on the Jimmy Durante Show. This opportunity marked Dickinson's first step onto a professional stage, an experience that was entirely new to her. During her time on the show, Dickinson crossed paths with the legendary Frank Sinatra, a guest star whose presence had a profound impact on her. The world of entertainment, filled with icons like Sinatra and Durante, captivated her, and she quickly realized that this was where she belonged. Encounter set the stage for her future career and marked the beginning of a remarkable journey in acting. Frank Sinatra, in particular, played a pivotal role in Dickinson's life, becoming the most important man in her world due to his significant influence on her. Their paths crossed professionally in 1960 when Dickinson portrayed Beatrice Ocean, the estranged wife of Sinatra's character, Danny Ocean, in the Las Vegas caper film Ocean's 11. By then, Dickinson had integrated herself into the Rat Pack's inner circle, becoming the only woman allowed into their exclusive group. Known for her poker skills and storytelling ability, she held her own among the entertainment giants. Reflecting on her role as Beatrice Ocean, Dickinson acknowledges that while it was a small part, it was a fortunate opportunity to work so closely with Sinatra. Their on-screen chemistry was palpable, and to this day, Dickinson remains enchanted by Sinatra's presence in the film, expressing admiration for his charismatic appearance. Beyond their professional collaboration, Angie Dickinson and Frank Sinatra maintained a close and complex friendship, which included a decade-long love affair. Dickinson describes their relationship as one of comfort and desire, characterized not by overwhelming necessity, but by mutual respect and affection. Sinatra's discreet visits to her home, often leaving his car parked behind her house, became a cherished memory for Dickinson, emblematic of the unique and perfect moments they shared. Their connection endured not because of overpowering passion, but because of their shared desire to be together, illustrating the depth and uniqueness of their relationship. This bond, built on mutual respect and the freedom of their connection, highlights a significant chapter in Dickinson's life, offering insight into the personal dynamics that influenced her both professionally and personally. Dickinson's association with Sinatra also extended to their shared involvement with the Kennedy family, reflecting the intertwined worlds of entertainment and politics during that era. Angie Dickinson also has had an impressive career like her personal love life. In the shadow of the Great Depression, Angie Dickinson's childhood was set against the backdrop of a North Dakota town that was quaint to the point of being minuscule. Her early life was steeped in the world of journalism. Her parents were at the helm of local newspapers, the Comm Messenger and the Edgeley Mail. This environment of words and wit undoubtedly played a role in shaping her nuanced understanding of storytelling and expression. Angie's father, Leo Henry Brown, emerged as a complex figure in her life, a man of considerable charm and intellect, whose aspirations ranged from music to veterinary science, yet his journey took a detour into the depths of alcoholism, casting a shadow over the family's life. This turbulent aspect of her home life instilled in Angie a resilient drive and a determination to forge a path distinctly her own, away from the shadows of instability and unfulfilled dreams. The challenging canvas of Angie Dickinson's upbringing painted a picture of a young girl confronting the realities of economic hardship, familial struggle, and the personal demons of a loved one. Despite or perhaps because of these hardships, Angie's resolve to escape the confines of her circumstances hardened. Her childhood, marked by adversity, became the crucible that honed her ambition and tenacity. In the dimly lit theaters of the time where Hollywood's golden age flickered across the screen, Angie found an escape and a source of inspiration. Amid the allure and drama of Hollywood's golden era, Angie Dickinson's youthful gaze was drawn not towards the shimmering glamour of Marlene Dietrich, Betty Grable, and Lana Turner, but rather to the dynamic and daring roles embodied by their male counterparts. It was the likes of Humphrey Bogart, with his portrayal of characters from a hard-nosed reporter to a daring parachutist, that ignited Angie's imagination and aspirations. Even Gregory Peck's role as a priest in Keys to the Kingdom left a mark on her, underscoring her desire for roles that mirrored the depth and adventure often reserved for men on screen. Angie longed not just for the elegance and beauty associated with Hollywood's leading ladies, but craved the action and agency the heroes of the silver screen embodied. Following the conclusion of World War II, Angie's life took a pivotal turn as her family relocated to California. This move would place her on the doorstep of the very industry that fueled her dreams in California. Her mother found work as a proofreader for the Burbank Review, leveraging her impeccable spelling abilities, while her father faced a less steady employment path. Angie's academic journey continued at Glendale College, marking the beginning of a new chapter in her life, one that edged her closer to the world of cinema and storytelling that she had long admired. Dickinson's early career in the 1950s began with minor roles in a variety of films. Her breakthrough came with Howard Hawks' Rio Bravo, 1959, where she starred opposite John Wayne. Her portrayal of Feathers, a strong-willed and independent woman, won her critical acclaim. and set the tone for her future roles. This performance established her as a serious actress capable of holding her own against Hollywood's leading men. The 1960s saw Dickinson's career ascend to new heights with her involvement in notable films such as Ocean's 11 (1960), where she played alongside Rat Pack members including Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. Her roles during this period were diverse, ranging from comedic to dramatic, further showcasing her range as an actress. Her connection with the Rat Pack and the Kennedys also placed her at the center of Hollywood's social scene, enhancing her profile. Perhaps one of her most significant contributions to television came in the 1970s with the series Policewoman, where Dickinson played Sergeant Pepper Anderson. This role was pioneering, as it was one of the first American television series to feature a woman in a leading role, particularly in a crime drama format. The success of Policewoman not only cemented Dickinson's status as a television star, but also paved the way for future generations of actresses in leading roles. Throughout the 1980s and beyond, Dickinson continued to work in both film and television, taking on roles that challenged stereotypes and pushed boundaries. Her performance in Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill (1980) was both controversial and critically acclaimed, highlighting her willingness to tackle complex and provocative characters. Angie Dickinson's career is not defined merely by her roles, but also by her influence in changing the landscape of Hollywood for female actors. She broke through gender barriers, taking on roles that were strong, independent, and multifaceted. At a time when women were often relegated to the background beyond her on-screen achievements, Dickinson's off-screen persona, marked by her elegance, intelligence, and a sense of humor, has endeared her to fans and colleagues alike. Until now, Angie Dickinson remains a beloved figure in Hollywood, celebrated for her contributions to film and television and her role in breaking down barriers for women in the entertainment industry. What do you think about Angie Dickinson's life and relationships with the men around her? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this video helpful. Remember to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.